What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Carl. I'm the consumer review lad, and I just consumed Survivor Season 41, Episode 6, and I'm going to review it on this podcast. We open up the episode at the Green Camp. It's night 11. Shane and Ricard, they talk about how they just blindsided Jeannie. Apparently, Jeannie did not know that Shane was going to vote her out, and apparently she didn't know that Shane had the idol, and I have no idea why Jeannie didn't go look for the idol. Maybe she did, maybe we didn't see it, maybe she figured it wasn't going to be activated, and if she opened it up, she would have lost her vote. Really not sure what happened there. All I know is that she did not know that Shane had the idol. We, the viewers at home, didn't really see what happened after the challenge before Tribal regarding that idol advantage that was just sitting there. After that, we see that Ricard is mad at Shan still for asking about getting the extra vote back. They fight about it. Shan mentions that this whole time she's been helping Ricard in the game. We go next day. It's the Green Camp, day 12. Shan asks for the extra vote once again. This time, Ricard does say in a confessional that she has too many advantages, but this time he decides to give it back anyway. So he does give the extra vote back to Shan. So once again, she got the extra vote. She might be the first time in Survivor that someone's asked for an advantage and been given it 3 times. Maybe even the first time it's happened twice. I'm really not sure. But the fact that she got it twice, gave it away once, and got it back again, that's pretty impressive. But honestly, unless they knew the merge was coming, again, we the viewers at home didn't see this part, but maybe they got the tree mail that we'll see later on before this moment happened. I'm not too sure. I have no idea. Maybe this happened before they received the tree mail. But if they're going into what is possibly a tribe swap situation and they want to work together as a duo, it makes more sense to have Ricard have that advantage and Shan have her idol. That way they can kind of have something to keep them safe for the first tribal council that they'll be by themselves on these new tribes if the tribe swap's coming up. The fact that Ricard gave it to Shan, she now has the extra vote, she has the idol, makes me think that maybe they're not going to be working together going forward, or maybe they knew it was going to be a merge. I'm not too sure if they're going to be working together or not, but it would make more sense if they were going to be working together as a duo, going into a tribe swap to have Ricard keep that to help him in case he needs it, and Shan already has an idol to help her in case she needs it. We go to the Yellow Camp where they read the tree mail that teases a merge. Xander thinks they have a close 4 there. He thinks he's in a close 4 alliance with Liliana, Tiffany, and Evie, but he's really not. Liliana admits that she's still going after Xander. We go to the Blue Camp. Nasir tells the tribe that they should go to the final 6. That Blue tribe should just be a final 6 alliance. Deshaun thinks that they should at least vote together the first few votes. So it does seem like the Blue tribe is going to be splitting up sooner than later. Of course, that always happens in Survivor. I don't know if you can ever have a real final 6 or final 5, because by the time you get closer there, the people at the bottom, they start making moves and not be at the bottom anymore. So realistically, that final 6 was never going to make it to a final 6. Now we're going to what looks to be the immunity challenge, but Jeff Probst, he breaks the 4th wall. He's been doing it a lot this season. He does it this season. He says this episode's a 2-part episode, and this will be a challenge, and the winning tribe will think they are safe, and they will send one player away to be by themselves. When the survivors come into the challenge, Jeff has them drop their buffs, has them believing they made it to the merge, and then tells them, well, not exactly. They are actually just without a buff and without a tribe, and they still have to earn their way into the merge. The survivors will draw rocks to determine what team of the challenge they will play on. We have yellow team and we have blue team. 2 survivors will draw gray walks and have to watch the challenge, and their fate will be decided by the winning team. The yellow team is Xander, Liliana, Tiffany, Shan, and Heather. Blue team is Danny, Deshaun, Ricard, Sydney, and Evie. Nasir and Erica drew the gray rocks and will be sitting out of this challenge. The challenge is to dig a boulder out and push it through obstacles while getting keys along the way. Then they will run up a tower, use the keys to unlock a survivor word puzzle. First team to finish gets a mill, merge buffs, and will not have to participate in the first individual immunity challenge because they will be safe at Tribal Council. But even though they are safe at Tribal Council, they will still be able to vote at Tribal Council. So half the Tribal Council is pretty much going to be immune from that vote, which that's a pretty big deal. So we'll see how that plays out. The challenge starts. So blue team gets their boulder out first. They get their first key. Yellow team gets their boulder out. They get their first key. Blue team gets their second key, climb up both platforms, and they start their puzzle. Yellow team gets their second key, and then they climb up both platforms, and they start their puzzle. In the end, the blue team does win. The blue team will have to pick either Nasir or Erica to join them on their feast, getting a buff and immunity. The other survivor will have to go to Exile Island and spend 2 days and 2 nights alone. So the blue tribe said that they picked Nasir based off rock, paper, scissors, which makes sense since Danny and Deshawn, and I believe even Sydney, are kind of targeting Erica. So it makes sense they wouldn't want Erica to be safe, and they would probably pick Nasir to be safe over Erica. But they did say they did it. It's based off rock, paper, scissors, which Erica kind of realizes was probably just a cover, and she figured she was at the bottom anyways. We see the winning tribe. They're enjoying their feast now. So they're at their feast, and they're talking about how this season of Survivor has been so hard. Evie said they haven't ate anything in the past 3 days at the yellow camp. Ricard asked the blue tribe if they like Erica, and they say they do like Erica. Danny said in a confessional that they did use the rock, paper, scissors as a cover. Danny calls out Evie for targeting men, and they were kind of joking about that at the feast. Back to the confessional, Danny mentions that one of the key points in keeping Nasir safe is the fact that a lot of the men have been voted out, and they're kind of focused on the men versus women numbers. We go to Exile Island. We see Erica has arrived on the island. She has some rice and a tub of water. She gathers wood and makes a fire. The losing team is back at the former blue team tribe. Luvu is a tribe name, so they're using Luvu's camp. Shan asked Liana about if she got the advantage based off of last week's episode. They made the trek, and Shan was going to let Liana have the advantage. But she did it in front of Tiffany. And Tiffany was like, oh, was the advantage an extra vote? You have an extra vote. And Liliana said, we'll talk about it. So Liliana is kind of annoyed that Shan brought it up in front of Tiffany, as she was wanting to keep it a secret. But there is no secrets on Survivor this season, apparently, as every almost advantage or idol is almost an open secret at this point. Everyone pretty much knows what everyone else seems to be doing. She does tell Shan what her advantage is. Apparently, she can only use her advantage at tribal council. I guess I missed that last week, so she can't just out openly ask someone during camp if they have an idol or if they have an advantage, which makes me kind of think that if someone were to go to the tribal council and leave their idol at camp or their advantage at camp, they would just say no, and then the survivor who was playing that advantage would then just wasted it. And it kind of makes the advantage a little bit more fair in that way. If the survivor has the opportunity to leave it at camp, gets asked at tribal, doesn't have it, and they would have the advantage or the idol back at camp, and they could use it going forward at the next tribal. And it almost makes sense when you think about what happened last season. There was moments last season where people were emptying their bags at tribal councils to prove they didn't have an idol, and now you have this advantage pretty much making people answer if they have an idol or not. So this kind of brings us to the strategy of, should I bring the idol to tribal? Would I really need it? Or maybe I should keep it at camp. What if someone has this advantage and takes it from me? So I believe that's more of a fair way to operate that advantage. Another thing we found out, which I guess should have been obvious from this interaction, is that they know Nasir has an idol. So I guess it's a known thing that Nasir has an idol. I'm assuming maybe people of the blue tribe know. I'm not too sure if any of them know, but it wouldn't make sense that Shan knows and Liliana knows, since they know the words and they know how the idols operate this season. So they're kind of thinking, well, they can take the idol from Nasir, or they could take the idol from Xander, since of course they also know he has an idol. Tiffany realizes that Shan and Liliana have something going, and Tiffany claims that she has no connection on this tribe. She mentions how Heather has all the other blue tribe members, and she has no one on that tribe. I mean, Xander is there. Xander did trust her with knowledge of his idol, but I guess Xander is so gone for these women that I guess it doesn't even matter that he's there. Tiffany still feels like she has no one that she's working with on that tribe. She did ask Liliana about the advantage, and Liliana did tell her about it, and Tiffany tells her, don't worry, she won't tell Evie. And it's really starting to look like this 3-woman yellow tribe alliance that we've been seeing is basically done. I mean, we learned that from a confession that Liliana is targeting Tiffany, and Liliana is telling Tiffany that they should vote out Xander at tribal. Tiffany in a confessional kind of realizes that might not be in their best interest so soon, and she also doesn't really like that Liliana kept the advantage from her, and she might just not have her back like she did before. So there's kind of losing trust there with Liliana and Tiffany, and Liliana targeting a member of the yellow tribe going into the first vote out merge. Tiffany, of course, is like, which makes sense. Why would you want to go ahead and target your own? There's still a tribe there that has 6 members, like half the merge tribe. is there, you probably want to start targeting them, not target the weakest. Well, not the weakest. I guess the weakest would be the green tribe, but the second weakest tribe, you'd probably not want to start targeting each other that soon. The winning team, they go back to the merge camp and they introduce each other to the other survivors. Xander and Nasir, they talk game. You must assume they each know that they each have the idol. I don't think they really talked about it here, but Nasir does tell Xander he has his back. Xander in a confessional talks about how he's worried since he's the only man that could really be voted out at Tribal, but he says he does have an extra vote and he has an idol, so he should be okay. Tiffany and Sydney, they're kind of talking. Danny, Xander, and Nasir, they're all talking together, and Danny throws out Erica's name in front of Xander, and they all like it. They're like, let's go after Erica. Sydney's also throwing out Erica's name. Meanwhile, Shan is setting up an alliance with Liana, Danny, and Deshawn. We go back to Exile Island. It's day 13 now. Jeff comes to the island, and Erica and Jeff talk about how she kept the fire going throughout the night. Jeff lets Erica know she has tremendous power. He brings out an hourglass of black sand. Says Erica can either leave the game where it currently is, or she can change history and reverse the outcome from yesterday's challenge. Meaning she and the losing team would be safe, and the winning team would be going to Tribal. If she wants to change history, she must smash the hourglass with a hammer before she leaves the island the next day. And that was the end of the episode. They left us with a cliffhanger there, to be continued next week. So let's go ahead and talk about what she's probably going to do. I mean, it makes sense that she's probably going to smash the hourglass and stay safe. There's really no way for her to not piss people off with this decision. She pisses people off no matter what she does, unless she doesn't have to tell them about it. But we saw a preview from next week of her telling people about it. So if she doesn't smash, the 5 that are going to Tribal Council are going to be mad at her, and they'll probably have no problem voting her out. I mean, out of those 5 people, only Heather's from the Blue Tribe, and I'm really not sure if her and Heather even have a close alliance going. And the other 4 would just be happy to vote her out. And of course, her own tribe's pretty happy to vote her out, which I think she might be realizing. And if she smashes it, the 6 people are going to be mad, but they can't vote her out next week. They're going to be too busy on deciding which of the 6 should go home. So it makes sense that she's probably going to end up smashing it. But knowing how this season's been going, I actually have no idea. People have been playing this season pretty bad, so maybe she doesn't smash it for whatever reason, thinking it's a better game move. But more than likely, she's going to smash it. More than likely, one of these 6 is going to go home. And even when you think about it from a game perspective, I mean, look at the Blue Tribe. I know she mentioned how most of her Blue Tribe is on that winning team, but the Blue Tribe just doesn't really, I don't think, care for her too much. I think she now realizes that they probably picked Nasir over her. And you think about Heather, no one's going to vote Heather out off the Blue Tribe. So if they go into the 6 where it's her and Heather from the Blue Tribe on the chopping block, chances are she's going to be the one going home. I don't think Heather's going to get a vote because Heather's probably not going to be able to win too many immunity challenges. So she's probably going to be able to make her way pretty far into the season. Erica's going to be more of a challenge threat. Erica doesn't really have that many connections and alliances. They'll probably vote for Erica. Meanwhile, if she smashes it and stays safe with Heather, you have the 4 strongest, biggest game players on her Blue Tribe up on the chopping block, which more than likely, everyone else is probably going to be targeting the Blue Tribe because of numbers, and that was going to be better for her game. So we'll just have to see what she does next week. And it's kind of hard that there's no Tribal Council, no one getting voted out. So it's kind of hard to make a GOAT of the week and a BOAT of the week, but I went ahead and did it anyways. So the GOAT of the week is Liana. The fact that she kept the advantage a secret from the other woman in her alliance, and now she got caught doing it, that's going to end up, losing trust with that alliance member. That's just a bad game move. At the same time, I really don't know what happened with that. I don't believe we saw a sort of, she came back and explained the trek to her tribe mates like we've seen with other people who went on this trek. We just kind of saw her going to get the tree mail and finding the advantage. So I don't know if she lied to them and told them she didn't get an advantage, or I don't know if she told the truth but lied about the advantage. I'm really not sure what happened here, but clearly Tiffany was kind of caught off guard about the advantage, and I guess Evie doesn't know about the advantage either, nor Xander. But of course, even if she told the other 2 women, I don't think she would have told Xander about it. While you can't really fault her for not telling her tribe mates about the advantage, clearly she might have had to tell them something about what happened on that trek that we, the viewers at home, I don't believe we got to see that. So whatever she told them probably didn't line up with what actually happened, so that had to hurt her game. So she is the GOAT of the week. And the BOAT of the week is once again Shan. It was really hard to pick a BOAT this week, and I know that Shan ended up losing on the losing team, but she did a lot this episode, which made her the BOAT of the week. She ended up getting her extra vote back from Ricard, which is like the third time she got the extra vote from someone. Even though she gave it up last week, she got it back from Ricard. Not only that, she set up a new alliance with Liliana, Deshawn, and Danny. But I do know that she did mess up Liliana's game a little bit by talking about the advantage friend of Tiffany. But really, that kind of helps her personal game. If she can get Liliana away from her old alliance and just join this new alliance that she set up, that's be better for her game. So even though it kind of ruined Liliana's game, it really helped Shane's game in a way by getting Liliana away from her old alliance. So she is the vote of the week. I'd like to know what you think of this episode of Survivor. So tweet me at consume_review on Twitter. If you are watching this on YouTube, leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed the podcast, please click like. If you did enjoy it, please click subscribe. You might enjoy a future podcast. Anyways, my name is Carl. I'm the Consume and Review Lad, and this has been the Consume and Review podcast for Survivor Season 41, Episode 6. Peace out.